I said, just don't have no mercy in this land.
Hey everybody, Carlo here. Today we're going to go into Jerry Garcia's guitar solo from Death Don't Have No Mercy from the Grateful Dead live album. A very bluesy song in an E minor key. It's got some great little chord changes in it. They go through the chord changes twice. Jerry goes from soft and slowish and kind of slinky to loud and fast, and it's got a little bit of everything in it. Thanks for checking it out. Let's get to it. Here we have lick 1. That's it, right there. Here it is in Guitar Pro. Starts out real soft and with a lot of vibrato though. I admire that he's not trying to shred right off the bat like I probably would. But he's starting with his 3rd finger on 5th fret A string, hitting it and sliding to 7th fret A string. Very simple. And then he's taking that same 3rd finger, putting it now on the D string, sliding it up to 9th, playing 1st finger on G string, 7th fret. I know you can see that. And then he hits it again as a grace note, hammering to 9. So the whole thing goes. Whoop. Then he hits, as you can see, the 7th fret A string with his 3rd finger. It's like on a really awkward beat, like he's been fumbling with his knobs, and he thought he was going to miss that note. Comes actually in with it early. And then he goes to D string 5th fret with the 1st finger and kind of bends it a little bit with vibrato. Does a staccato note on 7th fret A string with the 3rd finger. So it's like then he does a triplet pull off, or hammer on, I should say, on the A string, 5th, 6th, and 7th with the 1st, 2nd, 3rd finger, and then goes back to the 5th fret D. So that, again, lots of vibrato, nasty vibrato. Follows it up with a nice little somewhat of a triplet hammer on the 5th, 6th, and 7th of the D, and then slides up to 9. He's doing a ghost bend and release, 9th fret, 3rd finger on G, straight to the 1st finger with just a minor little blues bend, and then 3 notes on the 8th. So the whole sequence. Oh. Beautiful. And then a simple triplet hammer on 7, 8, 9 on the G, 1st, 2nd, 3rd finger. Then a grace note, 8th fret, 2nd finger G, hammer into 3rd finger, 9th fret G. Holds it for just a beat or so and then slides down with it. So the whole thing is that's lick 2. That's it. That's it. I need to say that I like using pinky a lot of times when Jerry uses his third finger. This is an example, but I think he does use his fourth finger pinky on this one. So we're 10th fret B string, really soft. You dial back on your volume knob. Again, still a lot of vibrato. So we've got 10th B, fourth finger. We've got 7th fret E, first finger. Lay our second finger on the B, 8th fret. Hold that, and then go 10th fret B, pinky. Our third finger is already kind of hovering over the G string, 9th fret. And then, so that hit 9th again with kind of a staccato slide on the G. And that is when he turns his volume knob, when he's holding that right there. Or he just plays harder on it. I don't know if he turns his volume up. But then he's going to the G string 7, first finger, hammering the third finger, 9th fret. So that whole sequence is and then you hear this one coming. Which is sliding from the 7th fret D string with your third finger to the 9th. It's like you're doing a B minor chord with a 7th at the top that you're going to bend. So he's doing a grace note 7th fret D string to 9th fret to 7th fret G. Lay your pinky down on B, 10th fret. And do a bend and release. And then 3 notes on the second finger, 8th fret B string. So we're going. And then we're going. So we're kind of changing directions, going back low. Third finger, D string, 7th fret as a grace note, sliding up to 9th fret D. Going back to 7th fret with the third finger on the D string. First finger on the 5th fret. Like that. Coming down with a nice little 7, 5, 7, third finger, first finger, third finger on the A, 7th, 5th, 7th fret. I love those. And that first note is a grace note, so it's really that. You can hear that. Lick 4. That's it. Very important though, if you see that last pull off slide on the D string 7th fret where you're doing a bend and release on the 7th and then pulling off to 5th and sliding to 4th, which gets his hand in a perfect position. Takes his 3rd finger, A string 5th fret, slides to 7th, the 5th is a brace note. Staccato notes 5th, 7th, 8th, 7th, 5th on the D, which is 1st, 3rd, 4th, 3rd, 1st. Hits 7th A string with the 3rd finger. Has a staccato jumping down to the 5th fret, E string with the 1st finger. Whole thing goes. So what he's doing there is like a bluesy riff on E, knowing that the A is right here. Then we're going to the 3rd finger, 7th fret A, and 5th and 7th on the D, and then we go to that little bend and release, pull off, slide. That's a little awkward maybe at first. And now we come to an awesome G arpeggio that amazingly is only played with 2 fingers, and that would be the 1st and 2nd fingers. He does a B arpeggio later where it's the same thing. It's a little annoying at first, but once you get it, it's quite doable. You can see him coming up with this in his head. So the notes there, 2nd finger, 3rd fret, E string with the G note. We're already on the G. So we're taking that same 2nd finger that we just played the D string 5th fret with, and we're moving over 2 frets and dropping it down on the E string 3rd fret. Obviously, and going 3, 2, 3, 3, 2, 3, 3, 2, 3 as the first set of 5 triplets. So that's just triple, and then that 3rd finger is already, the 2nd finger is already on the 3rd fret, so just lay it on the A string and slide to 5. And then, since it's, and we're really just laying the 3rd finger flat. Just drop our 3rd finger really and flatten it, which puts it on the A string, ready to slide up from 3 to 5, and then allows us to play the G string 5, and then our first finger is naturally there at the 4th fret, B string. So that's the trick, is getting to the 4th fret B string first finger at the end of the second triplet. If you don't get that far, you're dead, but it's not hard, right? So then it does second finger 5th fret G, go into first finger 4th fret G, and then second finger on D 5th fret. And then we're going back another triplet on 4-5-4 on the G, which is first, second, and first. So really we're just alternating fingers, first and second. And then we do a little grace note on the 5th fret G with our second finger and slide from 5 to 7. While we're holding that, we drop our first finger on 6th fret B. Classic blues riff, right? So cool. Very cool. Lick 7. What he's actually doing there is just a B7 or a B chord, a B triad, which is just laying your 3rd, 2nd, and 1st down on the D, G, and B on the 9th, 8th, and 7th. And then he's laying his pinky on the 10th fret, B, going back to the 7th, B with the first finger is already holding. And then back to the pinky on the 10th fret, B string, with the full chord again. And then he does a B7 that he really likes to do, where he puts his first finger on the B string, D string, 9th fret, which is a B note. And then he does like a D7 down here, but he does it up here on the 10th. 11th, 10th, and 11th, and he uses the last 3 fingers to do it. So he's using the root, first finger for the root on the D string, which is the B, and then he's doing the 7 over the top of it, which is a chord which he does a lot of funky stuff with. So he's going, and then he just strums it 3 times and does an E minor chord. And those 3 notes are a down, up, down strum. And the last one's like a staccato. And then he just does your basic E minor chord, slides it down. Lick 8 is the longest lick. Yes. To develop your vibrato like that, I recommend anytime you're going to hold a note, let it do 10 little mini bends on it. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Here we are. We've done a big slide down on this E minor. So we're back to E minor. He's got a bunch of juicy bars here. So he's got B string, 15th fret. Again, I'm using the pinky. So you bend it up, give it some love. Again, 10. And then damp it, let it back down, hit 15 normal. Then 12 with the first finger on the E string. And then go back to the 15th B and bend it. So cool. Then he does another bend on the 15th. Full of love, full of vibrato. Does these notes. So classic Jerry, which, as you can see, we've got the 15th fret with the bend. Damp it while it's up. First finger, 12th fret B, 3rd, 2nd, 3rd, on to G, which is 14, 12, 14, and then do a bend and release on the 14th. And then, so there's not a pull off there, but 12, 14 on the G. And then 14, 14 on the G and the D, which is really laying your third finger flat. So and then go to the G string, 12th with the first finger. Very classic, very vintage Jerry. And then he does a little triplet, 14, 12 on the D, third and first finger to 14 on the A. Goes back to the 12th fret Again, these are like quarter bends. They're not like, they're like in between a half step and a, anyway, so we're going. And then a little set of ascending triplets. Very simple though. We're going to the D string, 14, 12, 14 with the third first, and then first finger on the G12, back to the D, 14, third finger, back to 12, G, first finger, 14, G, third finger, adds a chromatic with the second finger on the 13th fret, goes to 14th fret, G, and that's oh, and then hits 14 again. We're off screen right now, but run that past you again. Very nice plugin. He's holding that note on the 14th G, giving it vibrato, and then he slides down. Lick 9, one of my favorites. Again, there's a fourth finger, third finger option here, but the chord is changing to A minor, so he is reaching up. He's going to end up on a A, but he's teasing it with the 7th first, a bend off the 7th. Lots of vibrato. I just love playing that lick. Sorry, got carried away. As you can see, we've got 15th fret, which is a G note, E string, pinky, pulling off to 3rd finger, 14th fret, pulling off to 12th fret. It's kind of a triplet pull off, but he's delaying the first note and speeding up the second. And then that leaves your second finger available to drop down right there on the 13th fret. And the cool thing is we've done this off a obviously this is real short, but we got 15th fret B string, which you can use your third finger, to 12th fret E, first finger. I like using pinky on the B string. Bottom line is 15, 12, 15 then on E. Just like that. Almost like a pull off, but he's hitting them all three. And then while he's holding that third note for 1B, he then bends it up and down. So in other words, he doesn't bend it right away. He delays it, so the whole thing is teasing this A minor. Such a cool lick. In other words, you don't pick that bend. Lick 10. Long lick with a series of bends. He's on the A minor chord. Really neat here that he's taking the something that he likes to do a lot. He's going to the root, which is the A on the 17th fret E string, and he bends it. So a lot of people bend up to the root, but he takes the root and bends it. Goes back to the 15th fret, which is the 7th of the A. So he's gone to either side of the A without actually playing it. So I love the way that it builds up tension when you bend that root. You want to hear it come back. So that's what he's doing here. He's teasing around with that, and then at the end, he does the 17 to 15 pull off on the B on the E string, which you'll see there at the beginning of the third bar. That's lots of guitar players used to play that in the old days. He's like 17th on the E, the third finger pulling off the first finger, going to, and so because they'd always be. So this is typical of what Jerry used to do, and a lot of guys used to do it as well. So as you can see here, he hits third finger 17th fret, which is the A, bends it up, damps it, plays 15th fret E, hits 17th normal, bends it up, damps it, hits it again, does a bend and release, so that back to 15th E with the first finger. That's all he's using here is third and first. So he's going 17th, bend up, normal 15, normal 17th, bend up, 17, damp it, bend and release 17, 15. He hits then 17 twice again, second time bending up. This is actually a series of 4 hits on bends, just with a little different timing. So that first one is just a bend, damps it, bends it again, holds it a little bit longer, damps it, hits it one more time, goes up while it's up, hits it, goes bend and release. So, and then 3 notes on the 17th, which is your A note, the root, and then he does that little to end it that I was showing you earlier, and then goes, which is 12, 12 on the B, E with the first finger, 15th B, bending with a lot of vibrato. So that whole sequence is see if you can hear that. Lick 11. Love this lick. So bluesy. So a lot of these licks are just so much attitude to them, just so scary. Just, and when I was younger, I was scared to death of this. Anyway, what we're doing here is he's always got, if he's playing like an E, he's got it like an E minor, that he's always got the bend, and whether it's E major or E minor, he's always got that bend on the 15th fret B string. Well, if he moves over then 2 on that B string, he's got, actually on the 17th fret B string, he's got the E note that he was just bending to. So a lot of times he wants to even bend more, but he's already, to go up here to the E string, he could go up to the E string and do a bend on the 12th fret, but he just goes to the B string 17th fret with his 3rd finger, which is the same note as that 15th fret B bent, and then he can go, which is bending that root note, like again on the A minor, he was bending the root. Well, here he is doing it again as part of a bend and release pull off. And he does this pretty much exact same lick later in the solo. But so he teases it, he walks it up from the 7th, which is the 15th fret B with the 1st finger, to the 16th fret B with the 2nd finger as a staccato, and then 17th fret, which is the E note. Then he bends it a step and a half. So he's bending it up to a G note, but he's using his 3rd finger, plenty of meat there, and then does it again. So he does 2 of those step and a half bends, and then 2 staccato notes on the 1st finger, which is like the 7th again. Same trick he did on the A minor. So he goes to either side of it, and then he changes hand position, moves his 3rd finger over to the 14th fret B, releases a little bit, oh, that's another thing, the 17th, that's one of the ones where he hits the 17th, holds it, and then bends. So, but the second one he does it, and then scoots over 14th, 3rd fret, 3rd finger, B string, but does another full bend, which is bordering on step and a half, and then a little blues. Since his 1st finger is already, he's back to the E minor, which is essentially having his 1st finger flat. So while he's doing this 14th fret B string bend, he just lays his first finger flat on and does first finger flat on the B and the G strings, hits 12 B, hits 12 G as a grace note, hammers to 13 with the second finger, goes back to 12 B, which is flat first finger, and then goes back to 12 G, but does it as one of those quarter bends. So cool. And then to the root note on the D string, 14th fret, third finger. So he's, another thing is this is going from E minor to G. That's why when he walks up to this E and he bends it step and a half, that's a G note. And then when he bends the 14th fret B, that becomes the third of the B chord. So he's acknowledging the G with 2 step and a half bends, coming back to 15-15, and then it's just like playing it. Again, with a lot of attitude on it, then laying that first finger flat. Let you hear that. Lick 12 completes the entire chord change. He's done the E minor, he's done the G and the B, and he's back to the E minor. So he's got essentially two more bars to finish the chord change. And let you hear that. And I actually didn't hear that, never noticed that on the original recording. It's kind of buried. So we had to dig that one out. But man, I'll tell you what, he sure is playing it. And as you can see on what he's done is he's just finished this little lick on the E minor, and he just lays his first finger flat essentially and rakes down the strings to his pinky on the 15th beat, which pulls off to 12. And goes back to 12G with a lot of vibrato. So he rakes up to the pinky on the 15th, which pulls off to 12 on the B, which then follows up with really the tip of the finger on the G string. So first finger flat while you rake to the 15th fret pinky, and then pull off to the flat first finger B, and then kind of just unflat it, raise it up, and your first finger's on the G. And then he does a series of triplets. Which is actually pretty simple. It's 14-12 on the D string, first finger, not as pull up, but then 14-12 on the A, and then pinky first on the E. So we've got 14-12 on the D, 14-12 on the A, 15-12 on the E. Scooting over now 2 frets to the 10th fret first finger and going 10, 11, 12 on the first, second, and third fingers on the E. Hitting 10 on the A string with the first finger, going back and doing the same 3 notes on the E string, 10, 11, 12 on the first, second, third finger. So it's triplet, 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 triplet. Triplet, 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 1. And then following up with a D string, third finger, sliding up 12th fret, sliding up to 14. Like that. So we've got a lick 13, they're hanging on the E minor chord. He's going to go all the way from the E minor to the G and end up on the B, all in this this lick. Very cool. That's it. That is it. Here, it's slow. So it very nicely ends up on that B note. What he's doing here, he's coming in with, he's tracing this E minor chord. So he just puts his third finger on the G string 7th fret and does a little grace note 7th slide to 9 as a staccato. Just like that, your hand's automatically shaped with the third finger on the B string 9th, the second finger on the, the third finger on the G string 9th, the second finger on the B string 8th, and the first finger on the E string 7th. That's your E minor triad. Played it a million times. So we're sliding into that. We're ignoring the second note of an E minor scale and going right to the third, going to the fourth then. So we're going sliding into, with the third finger 9, going to 8th on the B string second finger, going to the pinky on the B string 10th fret, going to the E string first finger 7th fret, going to E string 8th fret, second finger, going back to E string first finger, 7th fret. Little hints of pinch harmonic in there. If you can put that in there, there's also some elements of feedback to it. Very cool. I love the staccato-ness of it, and he's like building up the suspense for the second time through the chord changes. After that, he does a which is why I have a pick for this particular lick, is, again, we're shaping that E minor triad, but we're going backwards now from the E, B, G, which is 7, 8, 9, with the first, second, and third finger, as a rate, and then sliding down on that G string 9. So cool. Following up with pretty simple but effective G string, first finger, 7th fret to 9th, which is third finger. And then he does step and a half bend with that third finger, which is a G note. So he's foreshadowing the G chord change. And then he just goes straight back to that same little 7 with attitude to 9 staccato. So he does that. It's not like on a different E. Changes the G underneath it, and he does. Ends up on the B note, which is the E string, 7th fret. But he does the little 7 hammering to 9 on the D string, first and third, to G string, 7th fret, first finger. And then 9th is a grace note on the D, third finger, sliding down to 7th. And then 5, 7, 5. And then, so 5, 7, 5 on the D, 7th fret, E string with that third finger, which is the B note. So we've got lick 14 is lovely. This is the B arpeggio that's almost exactly like the G arpeggio we did earlier. One more time. So what we're doing there is he's already on the 7th fret with the third finger E string. Then he's going to, go to the A string, 6th fret with the second finger, which is the third of the B. So he's just starting that kind of idea. So he's going 3rd finger, 7th fret E, 2nd finger, 6th fret A, and then he just lays his 3rd finger flat on the A string and slides up to 9, from 7 to 9 on the A string with the 3rd finger, 7th fret being a grace note. And then since we have that flat 3rd finger, we can then play the 9th fret on the D string as well. To start another triplet, which is going to go 9D, 8G, 9G. Another triplet, which is going to go back to the 8th on the G, back to the 9th on the D, back to the 8th on the G, with the 2nd, 3rd, and 2nd fingers. And then goes to 9th on the G. Lick 15. Very simple, actually, but so effective. It's pretty genius. I'm sure we've all been in these E minor positions, and he played off it earlier. Now he's back, but he's going up instead of down with it. He's like, he's got a rake down on the 9, 8, and 7 on the G, D, and E with the 3rd, 2nd, and 1st. Remember, before he went the opposite way, now he's going. And then he goes with his 3rd finger on the E string, 9th fret, straight to 10. I'm sure we've all, but again, he's got tons of vibrato. Again, bend each note 10 times to practice doing that. And then he goes to 9, and he does this a lot. He then bends 9 a half step back to the note that was a 10. So he's 7, 9, 10, 9, 9 bend, and then 9 normal, and then 2 bends on 9. Love that, right? And so simple, and then you put tons of vibrato on there. Give those notes plenty of love. Lick 16, he was just bending. Now he's back to the triad, and he actually takes the 2nd finger, goes down on the B string, hits 6th fret, and as a grace note slides up to 8, which is the 3rd of the E minor triad. Pretty ingenious. Took me a lot of time to figure out where he did this and how he did it. So, and then he goes, which is sliding up to that 8th fret on the B string 2nd finger, and putting your pinky down on 10th fret B string, going to 7th fret E string with the 1st finger, back to the 7th or 10th fret B string with the pinky. Let you hear that. Very cool. So he's playing off of this triad and adding the pinky, which is the fourth of E minor scale. So then he's going real quick, jumping up, first finger 12th fret. So first finger had been hovering at the 7th fret. Now it needs to jump real quick to the 12th fret. And it's a little awkward. And that's why it took a long time to figure it out. And then the pinky is right there hovering over the B string 15th. So you play that and go back to 12th fret, E string. So that sounds like. Oh. Then hitting 14 E with the third finger, and then grace noting 12 E with first finger and hammering back to 14. So cool. So we're going. So he's coming off of this. Hitting 14 again, and then again as a ghost bend and release back to 12. Following up with a B string note is a 15th fret. So leading to the 15th fret B bend, pinky. Again with a ton of vibrato. Lick 17 is a very short one, and it's actually a repeat of a lick we did earlier, where we went to the 17th fret B string with the third finger, which is the E note, and we were talking about how he likes to bend that root note. In this case, he bends it a step and a half, which is a G note, obviously, and so he bends it up a step and a half, releases it while he's still holding it, pulls off to 15, first finger, and then of course he lays down his second finger, which is nice and handy there, hovering over the G string on the 16th fret. When it hits the top, it's trip. When you release it, it's all. And when you pull off, it's it. Triple it, triple it, triple it. And then laying your finger. Love that little lick. Up. 15, 16, 17 on the beat with the first, second, and third fingers, and then hits 17 a second time, lets it slide down. So he's getting ready to go through this chord change, E minor to A, to D to G. So this is the first step of that. Love that. And again, he's coming off of that lick 18. So this takes him from the E minor to the A to the D to the G. And he starts it out with the old pattern of, if you've got your A bar chord on the 14th fret with your third finger, say, you can always jump over to the B string and bend it, and then lay your pinky down. So he's working off of that principle, and so he just did this goes to 12th fret, B string with the third finger, and he likes to do this. He'll tease that bend, like he, instead of going like a series of ascending bends, he does a normal note, does a half of a bend, goes back to the normal note, and then bends. He does that a couple times in this solo. So obviously you're hitting the third finger, 12th fret, hitting again with just a little bend, going back to a normal 12th fret, third finger, bending it full, and then while it's still held up, you drop your pinky on 12, and that sounds like. So it builds up suspense for that bend. Let's hear that. Follows up with a bend on B string 12th, where you're already damp it, hit it as a bend and release. Then love this goes down to the first finger, B string, 12th fret, hammers a 12, pulls off to 10, hammers a 12, pulls off to 10. Just pick it once. So cool. And what that is the root, the A, hammer into its second, back and forth. So we did this little now it's changing to a D. As he's doing that, it changes to a D chord above it. And so then he goes to the second note of the D scale, which is the E note, 12, and bends 3 times, with the third one being a bend and a release. Then goes to 10 with the first finger. So he goes to 12 with the third finger, bend, bend, bend and release, 10th fret, first finger. So he's going. And right there it changes to G. And he's going to do the same, end up doing the same little country bend in G that he just did in A. So cool, but that's part of the next lick. So cool. As I said before, now he's going to do the little country bend lick with the third finger on the B string 10. He hits it, doesn't bend it immediately, waits just a sec, and then bends it, hits the pinky then on the 10 E. Right? It builds up suspense, you're wanting to hear that bend. That's why he doesn't bend it right away. Got a really cool series of picking here. Let's hear the whole thing. He's coming off of that little bend that he just did in. So his first finger's on the B string, 10th fret. He's replacing then, he's shifting over to, which puts his third finger then over the B string 10th. Because he knows the G is right there. So he scoots over, does the country bend right there. Shift. So coming off of the then he does this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Which is third finger on B string 10, bend it up, then play 10 normal, play 8 with the first finger on the B, go back to 10 on the B with the third finger, and you'll actually go 1, 2, 3, 4 times with the third and fourth one being bends. So we're going bend, normal, 8, normal, normal, bend, 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 normal, 8, normal, normal, bend, bend. All right, so let's hear that. And then he really gives that as the chord is changing to from G to B, That's when he's doing the major damage, I was going to say, with the bend. Like holding it while the chord changes underneath it. Then he toys around it with it a little bit, which, similar to the bend we just did, now he's doing it with the pinky on the 11th fret of the E string. So he's bending 10B with the third finger, and while that's bent, he's hitting the 11th fret pinky, which is just like that B7 chord that he did earlier. Well, now there's that third of that B7 chord on that E string 11th fret. So he's throwing that in with this bend underneath it. And then he does it again. With a slightly different cadence to it. As you can see there on the second line. And then he's going to do a ghost bend and release on 10. Then, again, he's now tracing the E minor chord from, so this is taking care of the beat. Now he's doing a typical E minor bend to get back to E minor, which is, again, some of you may not do bends and releases, but you just bend it before you hit it. While it's up, you hit it, then let it fall back down to its original note. In this case, then it goes to your first finger, which is the third of the E minor, and do a little bend, and then second finger on the G string 9th fret for 2 notes, and then a hit down. So the whole lick. Lick 20, one of my favorites. We'll slow that down real quick. So cool. Here it is at normal speed. Again, this is he's bending the root again. Before he was bending it just like a whole step. Now he's doing a whole step and a half with the third finger on the 12th fret E. So, and it's one of these where it's delayed. He hits it and then bends it, in this case, just a fraction later. So he doesn't immediately bend it. He goes, again, it builds up the suspense for the bend. He does this throughout this whole solo, doesn't he? So he hits, bends way up, step and a half, don't break your string, be gentle, and then damps it and comes down, does a really aggressive 12 to 10 pull off with a staccato, and then hits 12 again, and lets it eventually then slide down. Follows up with the ghost bend on B string 10th fret, full step up before you hit it, and then release it, and first finger then on 8th fret B. And that's a cool lick, by the way. So we're like, and then he does a little, which I think is just, just a little filler slide that ends up coming out something like this. Not sure if he meant to do that, but that's which is like just hitting that D string at 9, sliding down to 4, pulling off, and then just 2nd fret A string with the first finger. You can ignore that if you want, but I kept hearing it in there. Then we go to another big bend on the E string 12th fret, another step and a half. Man, they just really just are so wiry. And then he does 10, 12. So cool. So the whole lick is so far. Then he jumps up, it's getting ready to go to A minor. So he jumps up to the A minor and does the same trick he did before, where he plays around the A note. He bends the root note of the A and goes. So cool. 17th fret, 3rd finger, E string. Bend it up, pull. Not a step and a half, just a step. Then play a normal 17, 15, 17. So 17 bend, 17 normal, 15 first finger, back to 17 third finger. And then throw a chromatic in there, 2nd finger E string, 16th fret, and then 3rd finger 17th. And it sounds like. So again, you're bending the root, back to the root, 7th, then going root, major 7th to root. With lots of vibrato. Vintage Jerry. So 17th fret, 3rd finger, E string. Bend it up, pull. Not a step and a half, just a step. Then play a normal 17, 15, 17. So 17 bend, 17 normal, 15 first finger, back to 17 third finger. And then throw a chromatic in there, 2nd finger E string, 16th fret, and then 3rd finger 17th. And it sounds like. lick 21. This is the big, long, fast lick. And I'm going to break it down into 3 parts. But here, let's listen to it first. Right here. Simple enough, right? Vintage Jerry, right? One more time. I'll try and play along to this. First part, we just did the, and then he bends 17th fret again with the 3rd finger. And then while it's up, he hits it again as a ghost bend and release. And that ghost bend and release is a grace note to start the first set of 3 triplets. In that bar. And then 2 more in the next bar. He's on the E string with the 3rd finger, 17th fret. He just did it. Now he's going to bend it up, bend it, release, hit it and release it, which becomes the first triplet. Triplet. Triplet, 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 triplet. So you got to get off to a right start. And then the simple 15, 17 on the E with the 1st and 3rd as a alternate picking. Third triplet is 17B, which is the 3rd finger, to 15E, 1st finger, and then go back to 17 with the 3rd finger. So 17, 15, 17 on the B, the E, and the B. And but that second time you hit that 17th fret B, you pull off to 15, which is your 1st finger on the B, and then go to the 16th fret G, which is the 2nd finger. because you're doing this little G triad. So he's and then go back to 15 with the first finger on the B and do a 15, 17, 15 triplet or pattern, I should say. It's the you're going, so it's finishing off the triplet with the 15th of the B, and then you're going 17, 15 on the B, and then you're back to 16 on the G, and then the 17th on the D with the third finger. Did that make any sense at all? So beautiful. The second part of lick 21. We're starting off at the end of the you might hear that in there. Right there. That's it. Pretty simple, really. So we're tracing the A minor chord, kind of in a jackaroo kind of little lick, and that goes. We're going on the G string, 14, 13, 14, which is third, second, third, on 14, 13, 14. He did similar chromatics earlier. And then we're going up to the third of the A minor chord and doing 13, 12, 13. So we're going 14, 13, 14 on the G, 13, 12, 13 on the B, and then we're topping it off with a 15, 13, 12 on the B. So that's that part of it. Next bar starts out as you'll see there. It's 13 on the B with your second finger, to 12th on the B with your first finger, down to 14 on the G with your third finger, so we're just getting back to where we started essentially. And then we're doing a triplet, which is 12 on the G with a slight pull to it with the first finger, the 14 on the D with the third finger, back to 12 on the G with the first finger. And then a simple triplet, 14, 12, with a little, maybe a little bend on the 14 on the G string with the third finger. But I have a hard time actually throwing that in there. And then the 12th fret G with the first finger, and then the 14th D with the third finger. And in the midst of that, at the beginning of this, when it, right there they change to a C chord, which they don't do any other time in the whole song. But, so that's C. And then lay your first finger flat on 12 and just go 12, G, first finger, 12, B, first finger, with kind of a bend to it. And then 14, 12 on the D with the third and first finger, down to the A string, third finger. And then back to 12, 14 on the D string, first and third finger. And then there's a little pause right there. We'll do that slower. And that joins back up with that beginning. So the third part of lick 21 is a little awkward at first, but so we've gone up to the point where there was a little pause. And it starts with another minor bend on the 12th fret G string with your first finger, where it's been the whole time. So then we just hit B again, or like I say, G again with the first finger. 14, D, 12G, 14G, then 15, B. And then which is 14 D, third finger, 12 G, first finger with a little bend to it, and then a triple at 14, 12 on the D with the third and first finger, and then 14th on the 8th. And that's important because you're going to need to slide down and do another triplet on 12, 10, 12 on the A with the third person. Third. Starts out and then does a simple 10A with the first finger with a little bend, and 12E with a third finger, back to 10A with a little bend. It's nasty, and then back to 12, and then hammer 11 to 12 with the second to third finger, and then hit 12 again, and then 12 on a slide. Play through it slow. One. And here it is at normal speed. We are now back on the E minor chord, and lick 22 is going to take us from the E minor to the G to the B7 back to the E minor. And the way he's going to do that, he's coming off of this huge long lick. And hopefully you end up there on that 12th fret E with the slide down, and then without even taking a breath, his third finger hits 7th fret D, slides to 9. One of those staccato ones again. Let you hear this. We'll hit D string, 7th fret, 3rd fret finger, sliding to 9, and then do a triplet, 7, 8, 9 on the G. To again, we're now tracing the old E minor chord. Second finger then on the B string, 8th fret, which is the minor 3rd. So you're coming down here. And put your 3rd finger down on the B string, 10th fret, on one of those delayed bends where you hit it and then bend it and release it and pull off to the 9th fret G with your 2nd finger, which is the root. 8th fret, 1st finger, B string, 10th fret, 3rd finger, B string, 10th fret, bend up, half step, back to 10th fret, normal. This is another one where he's instead of going, he's going. So he's going normal, bend half, back to normal, and then he's going to bend it. We hit B string 13 as a ghost bend and release with our 3rd finger on the 13th fret. So we're essentially, we take that bend we were just doing on the 10th fret B string, and we just move up 3 frets and do it as a ghost bend. And then 8, 9, and bending 10 on B. So we're going to 8, 1st finger, chromatic, 2nd finger on 9th, and then a bend and release on 10 with the 3rd finger. And he did this earlier. That's how he resolved the B7 chord, was going to 10th fret, which is actually bending an A to a B and back to an A, which is the B7, which is so cool. And then he'll just do, which is a simple, and he almost does like pinch harmonics on it, where he just does a 10th fret B, which is where he's already at, and then he does a go, spin, and release, or just hits it on the way down, and then 8 with the first finger on B, and then 9th fret G string with the second finger. So he's going. Did you hear that? Do it a little slower. And finally we get to lick 24.
That will go in. That will.
He's going 17, 15 on the E with the third and first finger. And these are like legato sustain. Like 8 notes. 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and. So that's 17, 15, like I said, on the E with the third and first, dropping down to the B, 17 with the third finger, first finger on 15E, then just 17, 15 on the B. Dropping down to the second finger on the G string, which is conveniently located at the 16th fret, and then immediately to the 17th B string, and I had to listen hard for this. So once you hit 17B with the third finger, hit 15B and as a grace note and hammer back to 17. And then if you've got some reverb in the background, it sounds really cool. I don't have a lot dialed in right now, or a delay or something, but anyway, that's as close as I could find because there was some keyboards over the top, and immediately hit 3 notes on the 16th G with the second finger. And the second part of the lick is kind of the beboppy part of the, like a Bertha or something. It just comes out of nowhere. 12th fret. He's back to the E minor. starting there on the 12th fret first finger. And then a grace note second finger, hammer into third finger 14, straight to G string 12th fret, straight to D string 14th fret. So we've got first finger D 12th, second finger D 13th, hammer to 14th with the third finger, going to G string first finger 12th, back to D string 14th with the third finger. So we're like then we drop down to the A string, which is the 13th fret, second finger, as a grace note, hammer to 14th, then D string 12 with the first finger, and then back to A string 14 with the third finger as a grace note, sliding down to 12. And then adding 10th on the A. And then these little bends on the 12th A string, bend and releases, half steps. So 12, bend up, bend, release, I should say, to 10A with the first finger, then do it again, but slower. And then 12 with the third finger E string. And then he comes in singing.